You are.
Gary, we sit here Thursday before the Coventry game, so we've just come out of pre-season, 3 wins from 3. We sat down just before Christmas, and you sort of split the pre-season into 2 halves, with the first half being getting lads fit, doing hill runnings on Sunday mornings, etc., and then looked into the games. So looking back over the 3 games, how do you think pre-season's gone?
I'm delighted with it, Scott. Yeah, I think I don't think it could have gone much better, really. You know, we've played 3 teams in higher divisions. You know, Leeds Rhinos, Batley Bulldogs, and Bradford Bulls, and they're all good quality teams, good quality opposition. You know, people might say that Bradford brought, you know, a lot of reserve players, and Leeds brought a lot of the kids, but we can only play what's in front of us. And I think progressively, from looking back at the Bradford game and looking back at the Leeds game, I think there's been a gradual improvement throughout, and that's really what these games are all about. So they've served the purpose for sure. We've got a lot of confidence out of the games. We had an opposed session against Dewsbury in between the Batley and Leeds game, which served the purpose as well. So I'm delighted with the way the players have bought into what we've tried to achieve in pre-season. I think they've got themselves pretty fit, so hopefully the big test will come, I guess, on Sunday against Coventry, when we can only pick 17 players, because it is difficult managing these warm-up games when we've got 20-21 players and we're making so many changes. So it's going to be the first game proper under the proper interchange rules, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
So going into just reviewing the games, you've obviously got a plan of giving everybody a certain amount of game time, and divided that by the 3 games.
Yeah.
Did they hit all your objectives with what you wanted to do, regardless of results? Even though we won all 3, individual performances are improving game on game?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, you know, we've had a fair turnover at staff, as we've spoke about before, and new combinations, new players coming in. Obviously, you know, 3 new halfbacks into the club, so it was important to see how they gelled as a partnership with the other players, with the players on their side. And I think on the whole I've been really pleased. I think when Dom and Rousey have played, they've looked really good together. And Brownie missed the first couple with an hamstring injury, and he came in and played Leeds, and he looked really good as well. So I think the toughest bit is going to be who to leave out, and it's going to be tough on whoever does get left out. Similar scenario with young Kingy coming, and you know, Tonks is struggling with the calf strain. Kingy comes in against Leeds and plays really, really well. So we've got those kind of decisions to make now, but it's definitely achieved that. I think the players have got minutes under the belt, which supplements the fitness training that we've been doing. They've got some contact into them. I think we've been pretty aggressive defensively, which is what we've wanted to be. And we've got some decent minutes into our middle unit players, which is really important these 3 games. So we hit the ground running, and it's all about, you know, we're focusing really on Keighley next week, because that's a massive game for the start of the season, away at one of the title favourites. Yeah. Gives us a real opportunity to put a marker down and show what we're all about this year.
Yeah. Did something a little bit different, as you've already mentioned, this pre-season, in going up to Dewsbury the Friday before the Leeds game. We just had an opposed training session. How did that come about, and did that meet, or what was your thinking behind doing something like that rather than potentially organising a 4th pre-season game?
Yeah, it crossed my mind to organise another game, but I thought that it gives us an opportunity under controlled conditions to put a few things wrong that we thought weren't going too well. I spoke to Lee Greenwood, who I know quite well, and he offered us the facilities up there, and it was good to run against a team that don't know what we're all about and what we do attacking wise. In training, when we're doing left v right drills, you know, the defence know what's coming from the attack, and vice versa, so you know, you kind of lose a little bit of quality. But I just thought if we took them out into a different environment, up at Dewsbury under the lights, different size pitch, different opposition, and it wasn't full on contact, and that was the other key thing, that I didn't want to risk any injuries. You know, we've been pretty lucky with pre-season. We've only really had Brownie and Nathan Conroy and Tonka who have been struggling with injuries, but apart from that we've got a pretty healthy squad, so it was important that we didn't pick any more injuries up and use another full-on contact game in that way, because like I said, I just want an healthy squad going into these Challenge Cup and the Keighley game, which is what we've got. But yeah, it served the purpose, and obviously you came up and filmed it, which was a massive bonus because I could sit back and look at, you know, what we'd done up there, and again where the improvements need to be. And it was just a good structured session. You know, they had some attacks on our line, we had some attacks on their line, and then we finished on a 20-minute game. And so it was a really good exercise, a really useful exercise. And speaking to Lee, they got a lot out of it too. So it's something that we might repeat up. And the good thing about it is it's up on a good surface. If not on the pitch, then up on their 4G, and our training field's not the best, as you know. So again, it took us out of an environment that's not the best into a really good environment where we could run some shapes and really structure what we wanted to do.
Yeah. So looking forward to this weekend and next weekend starting of the league campaign. Fortunate, unfortunate, whichever way you might want to look at it, we're playing a team in our division in the Challenge Cup, so it's standard of opposition we'll be facing week in, week out going forward. I know you've mentioned that your thoughts are probably already turning towards Keighley the week after, but what are you doing to prepare for this week and then rolling on into the first league game?
Well, I'm pretty comfortable with our game plan as it stands, so you know I don't think we'll be changing too much up. We've got a few things up our sleeve that we want to try and get Keighley at. You know, we try and bring some of those into play on Sunday against Coventry, but it's the type of thing that we do against any opposition, not just for Keighley really, that we think will work. So yeah, but I've seen a couple of their games. I went to watch them against Sheffield, and I've seen them play against Dewsbury, so we've seen what Keighley are about, and there's a lot of hype going on there, isn't there, around what they're going to do. I think they're fourth favourites to win the league and all this kind of stuff, so I know they're hyping it up there, and there'll be a lot of passion and a lot of enthusiasm in that team. I know that for sure, and we've got to match that. But I think in terms of Coventry this week, you know, you can't underestimate Coventry. They've had a fair turnover, number of staff themselves, fair change of players. But last year, you know, we've got to remember that they beat Coventry, they beat Newcastle, and they beat Workington. So they're no mugs. They have steadily improved, and I like what they're doing at Coventry because they're developing players from that area. They're not necessarily coming into the north and taking players that we might be wanting to sign. They're developing their own area players from local universities, local clubs, and I think that's the way to do it. If we are going to expand the game, then I think that's how we need to do it. We need to be getting more people participating in the sport, and that's certainly what Coventry are looking at doing. So I'll take my hat off to them that that's what they're doing. It might mean they don't have the quality of player yet that they need to compete in League One, but if they carry on with that principle, I'm sure they'll get there. But yeah, it's like you said, Scott, it's a team in our own division. I think I'd rather do that than play an amateur team, because you're on an hide into nothing with that. You know, at least we play a team in our own division. It's a competitive game against one of our rivals, so we're going to have to approach the game as we would as if we were playing in the league. Yep.
So that's it, I think. Just looking forward to Coventry this weekend, get going into regular fixtures again now, and
it's, you know, nobody likes pre-season. We're kind of all glad it's over in a way, because it's business as usual now. We can just get on with it. I would like to say a big thanks to the supporters. I think, you know, there was a real good crowd against Leeds, a real good crowd against Bradford, you know, and that's fantastic. It's given the club a boost financially, as well as giving the players a boost to know that that decent crowds are going to turn up, and I just hope they stick with it and keep coming this year. But yeah, just many thanks to everybody that's turned up and showed the loyalty to the club. We're going through a bit of a tough time at the minute, as it's well documented, and obviously the supporters meeting was held last Thursday, and I think the position was made clear there, so we just need the supporters to get behind us, and I'll do my best to make sure there's a really good product on the field and we play a good brand of rugby that wins games.
Thank you for your time.
All right,
best of luck for Sunday.
Cheers. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you.